Good day, podcast community. Pete Kane here, Podcast Pete. Welcome to Do you grow fear or faith? An interesting topic. I had a number of conversations and I had one yesterday. So I wanted to kind of share some thoughts from you because I've lived in fear for 50 years. I kind of know that behavior, that mindset, and I want to help you to transfer your fear into faith. And if you don't want to use the word faith, use courage. Because I think we're baked into all of us is a fixed mindset that can be fear. Think of yourself. Do you want to grow fear? Because fear stands for false evidence appearing real. It was baked into us thousands of years ago when we were fearful of our life, of survival, of animals, of situation, and we still have it baked into us. But we have a chance now to move to a different mindset. And I'm going to give you 3 tips. On the screen is leads, cash flow, generating leads, creating cash flow, and building thriving communities. That's what we're all about. But podcasting is what we offer people an opportunity to share their story, to build a digital asset, to build relationships. But what I see is an answer like, that's not my thing. And what they're saying is, I'm fearful to do something I've never done before. And then sometimes I'll have an opportunity, depending on the conversation, is to say, why do you think it's not your thing? And if they're being honest with themselves, which a lot of times we aren't, we just hide our fears. We say something like, I've never done one before and it's just not my thing. Well, why isn't it your thing? And here's what the core of what it is, what I've discovered through 400 plus podcasts, inviting guests on, having conversations with people. A podcast is just a conversation about you, your story, your journey. What can be so bad about that? Because we're in a digital economy. People remember stories. People buy from people, not businesses. So if you're in a business and you're promoting a company, because of social media and the evolution of social media, they don't buy from companies. They buy from people. And if you're out there promoting your company, you're not allowing people to connect with people. You are the magic. Your story gets remembered. Your story is what people connect with. Your story is the magic. When you look at that and you make that mindset shift in your mind, okay, you want to grow your business, but are you fearful to do things you've never done? In a lot of cases, that's the case. I lived with dyslexia and ADD for 50 years. I was fearful of sending out an email with half the words misspelled. Not really, but I mean a lot of them. So I lived in fear of every time I hit that send button. Would I be judged by people that might say, wow, did this guy graduate from high school? And the question was, or the answer was, no, not on time. I flunked English. I'm picking up range balls on a driving range when my friends were graduating because it was the first year that they weren't given blank diplomas. because I failed and legitimately failed. Didn't even come close because now you could say, you're dyslexic. All excuses are the same. Didn't matter. I did not pass. I deserved an F. Okay. So I had to figure out, I still got into Virginia Tech through my extracurricular activity. It wasn't my grades. It certainly wasn't my GP. I forget what, SATs, because I bombed on that. But I did get in. Now I failed the first time, 2 quarters, got out before I failed out. Then I said, let me change. Let me go back to less distractions. Go from dormitory to apartment. That lasted 1 quarter. So I get out, and I tell you this because I discovered at the time why failure was my path in academics, because I didn't know how to handle dyslexia. And back then, 1, I couldn't spell it. 2, I didn't know what the heck it was. So when I got tested, what does the word dyslexic and ADD mean back then? Back 50 years ago? Didn't mean anything to me. All I knew is I struggled. I struggled with learning through traditional channels. I struggled with spelling. I struggled with shame. I struggled with the fear of being judged. Nobody wants to think of themselves as not smart. Now, I'll tell you what I thought I was, just different. But I didn't know how to process it. But I processed fear, and fear lived in me for 50 years. Well, 47. So I have the stroke 3 years ago. I survived. My fear at that time goes down because I realize I have the gift of life. And when you get the gift of life and you appreciate life, your mindset changes. So fear becomes not that big. It starts to shrink. I share with people on my podcast that I struggled in those areas. Not at first, but I get a little bit more courage, a little bit more faith. And when you get a little bit more faith, faith conquers fear. They don't live in the same world. You either have one and you're working on one, or there's not an opportunity, there's not enough room in the room, there's not enough space in the room for both. So when you have fear, you have to say, how can the fear get smaller? It gets smaller with your faith, courage, whatever you want to say, that word is. But fear is the fear of the unknown. And we all have little bits of it. But if we let it grow, it'll grow. So if you picture on your left shoulder, you have the fear muscle, and you picture on your right shoulder, the faith, courage muscle, which one do you want to feed? You have that opportunity because you have that choice. Feed your fear, it grows. Feed your faith, it grows. Feed your courage, it grows. So challenging you to really be self-aware of what's holding you back. What's preventing you from being on the podcast? Fear of the unknown, the fear that you'll say something and it'll be recorded. Well, if you speak from your heart, you're just speaking from your heart. It's truthful. It's honest. It's being who you are. It's just answering questions and having a conversation with me. And when you have a conversation, And we're talking about your story. It's about you. The magic is in you and anything's possible. But if you hold back because of fear, you're holding back on your growth. And a friend that I had on my podcast really exposed me to, or introduced me to PTSD, which I knew, post-traumatic stress disorder, but he said PTSG. The G stands for growth. If we're not growing, then we're not exercising that muscle. We can only grow one of those muscles. You grow your fear, you shrink because you back down with things. You don't tackle things because you're fearful of the unknown. When you go through a near death several times, you begin to realize that life is short. And we only have a certain amount of time on this planet. And if you want to live in fear, it's shorter because you're not going to be the person you want to be. You're not going to make the impact you want to make. You're not going to grow in faith. You're not going to grow your courage muscle. When you grow and you learn and you realize that life is full of failures, life is full of overcoming, life is full of honoring the struggle. When you go through tough times, just say to yourself, I'm going to honor this, because when you're in the middle of a storm, storms do end. And how can you grow? How can you honor that you have an opportunity to grow your faith or your fear? And if you shift your mindset to faith, magical things happen. You grow. And when you grow through your trauma, you get stronger. When you get stronger, faith gets stronger. Your courage muscle gets stronger. So look at your shoulder as two muscles, two areas that you have a choice. Grow your faith or grow your fear. And when somebody asks you to be on a podcast and you say, that's not my thing, change it to, never done it, but I'm willing to try. And then, like a person, I remember it like it was yesterday. It was 2 years ago. Tara Strong. Met her, didn't know there was a thing called Senior Locator. Had no idea. It was in the early stages of podcasting with seniors vendors. And when I invited her on, she came into the studio with her husband, who was a golfer, and we had some fun talking about golf. But she said before she started, I'm nervous. I said, fantastic. Because that means you care, and that means you're willing to do something that you have never done before, and you're willing to try. She grew her faith muscle instead of her fear muscle. She could have very easily said, never done one before. I don't know if I want to step out and do that. That would have been growing fear. But she grew faith and courage. That's why she's a rock star. That's why she's crushing it out there. That's why she is having a successful journey. She raised boys, and she now, being an empty nester with a career as a senior locator, is crushing it. Just hired a new person, and she goes out there and she tackles her fear. She says, hey, I've never done this. I'm willing to try. And at the end of the podcast, I remember saying, hey, that was fun. if she would have accepted the fear muscle and grew the fear muscle and not done that podcast, she would not have realized the fun that she could have. I've referred a few people to her when the opportunity comes up. And she is courageous. She is growing her growing her faith. Through haven't done something yet, but I'm willing to try. So what have you kind of allowed yourself to tackle in your fear world? And I want to challenge you to say, I haven't done it yet. Even though I'm a little nervous, I'm willing to try it. I'm willing to put myself out there. What's so wrong with your story? It's not. It's your courage muscle. It's your faith muscle that you're exercising. And when you exercise that, you grow. When you grow, you start growing your business because the magic is in you, and you are the magic, and anything's possible. We love Growth Day. We love Growth Day because it grows you every day. Every day, Brendon Burchard speaks to you to change this mindset, to challenge you, to put some thoughts, some frameworks, some motivation. And I always say when I talk about Growth Day is, what if you went a month without a shower? You'd be stinky. And when you're stinky, people avoid you because you're stinky. Same thing with this. If you shower yourself in personal development each day with Growth Day, and you spend 7 days taking a personal development shower, you have an opportunity to grow faith, grow courage. Because in there, if you go try it for 7 days, and then you send us a support ticket at petekane.me, we'll send you our goals, our mindset goals and habits course to help you work on mindset, work on goals, work on habits, because habits create outcome. And when you look at yourself, people buy from people. So being on a podcast, creating a digital asset is going to help you, and it's going to help grow your business because you are the magic. Now, I also want to give you, let me switch here. Hold on. Oops. Uh-oh. Dang, my mouse is out. Okay, I can still do it with the pad. Okay. So I'm a certified high performance coach from Brendon Burchard. If you're struggling with fear, look at number 4, courage. Do you need more clarity? Do you need more energy? Do you need to grow your courage? Can a productivity strategy help you be more productive? Because daily prioritized action is important. Not jump into the day, checking emails, but thinking, journaling, planning, and implementing. That's my routine, having been coached by 4 different high-performance coaches. Each time I got better. Each time I grew. Each time the blind spots were revealed. When they get revealed, they show you areas of growth. So maybe it's something you would like to be a part of. And if it is, to qualify, let me try and I got to get this mouse. Go to petekane.me/SS, that's strategy session. Do you need to grow your influence? What about psychology mastery, physiology mastery, productivity mastery, persuasion mastery, purpose mastery, and committing to a life of a high performance? There is a difference in how you show up each day. If you show up with the mindset, yeah, this is weird. I'm going to have to charge this. And you work on your personal development of growth every day. And we do the 5 to Thrive. Let me see if I have it. I think I do. Hold on. Let me see if I can get to it. You know what? I'm not able to. Oh, there we go. Yes. Oh, man. I love it. Love it. Okay. We call it the 5 to Thrive fuel. It's the fuel for your rocket, for your growth. You have that each day. You have 2 videos, one by Brendan and one by a related topic to what he's talking about. 2 thought-provoking questions to get your mindset right. And last, you score yourself. If you're not measuring yourself, you don't give yourself an opportunity to grow. So the 5 to Thrive is your fuel for the day. It's a library of learning. It's like the Netflix of personal development. Take a shower in learning each day, growing. Journal. I've done it for 3 years. I never journaled before my stroke. Let me take that back. I journaled when I was in very dark times because I always say, oh, do a gratification journal, whatever it is. And when you're in the storm, one little day of journaling ain't going to do it. I've been doing it for 3 years. I do it just every single day, morning and actually in the night, I write in my journal. That way it's giving me the insight. It's giving me the ability to get it on paper, to get clarity, to get that self-awareness, to learn, to understand the learning, to grow in my faith, grow in my courage, grow in the areas that I'm working on, whether it's back to this, grow with my energy, grow courage, productivity, influence, constantly committing to growth. And if you're not growing, you're leaving opportunity on the table. So the opportunity can be, the challenge could be, take a strategy session with us. See if this is the right thing for you at the right time. There's several options. We have group, we have one-on-one, and we have monthly. We have options for you because 2025 is going to be the most change you've ever seen in your entire life. And you want to be on your game this year. And if you're on your game, it'll be the best decision you ever make in your life. Because choosing to grow your faith, choosing to grow your courage, becoming better at clarity, influence, productivity, energy, and learning your purpose. It's not just one thing. Your purpose is always growing, and the only way you do it is having that growth mindset. By going and taking Growth Day, trying it for 7 days. Again, the unknown. Whoa, what can I lose? Trying something for 7 days. A bath, a shower of personal development. Will I, through that 7 days, grow my courage, my faith, or will I allow my fear to grow? The choice you have. We always have choices. Our habits are our outcome, and our outcome can be different if you choose to grow faith and courage. Now, so take it for 7 days. See what a daily, we call it a daily 5 to Thrive. Doing that for 7 days and see if that doesn't grow this side, that muscle, that faith muscle, that courage muscle. And then when you commit to a library of learning and have access to high performance habits. And the high performance habits are clarity, energy, courage, productivity, and influence. These are proven when you work on these 5 skills to be a high performance person. Remember, the magic is in you and anything is possible. And it's possible to grow your faith. It's possible to grow your courage. It's possible to grow your energy, your productivity, your influence, your clarity. That is possible through a strategy session. So go to petekane.me/SS. And when you do that, you're going to be 1 hour really to know you and what the potential is to grow the faith and courage muscle. We live in fear, we're held back. We live in faith, we don't know what's possible until we do it. Grow your faith, grow your courage, and you're growing in who you are because the magic is in you. So go to Growth Day or petekane.me/growth day. Try it for 7 days. See if the 5 thrive. Difference in your life. If you do it every day and you do the 5 to thrive, I will say it will make a difference. Maybe that's the growing of the courage, the library of learning, the journaling, the scoring yourself. These are the kind of things that if you commit to a life or the start of a life of personal development, the future is so bright, you're going to need sunglasses. So I hope we can challenge you to start, because the journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step. And a shower of personal development can help you grow the faith courage muscle and conquer and squish that fear muscle that pops up every so often. Don't let it grow. Crush it. Crush it. Take the challenge and crush the fear and grow the faith. All right. Thank you so much. If this is something that you think others would benefit from it, please share it with them, because maybe when you share it with them, it was the right message at the right time in their life that helped them squish the fear and grow the faith. Thank you. Pete Kane, be bold, make a difference, and have fun. Be bold, make a difference, and have fun.